said Brock Purdy was trash. This is not hating, it's just merely speaking facts. Brock Purdy is the 10th best player on this team. My intent is just to be honest.
If Brock Purdy is the 10th best player on my team, fine. I'm all smiles. From the day that Brock Purdy burst onto the NFL scene as Mr. Irrelevant of the 2023 NFL Draft, he has quickly become one of the NFL's most polarizing quarterbacks.
Like big boy throws downfield at a high level this year, Brock Purdy is in that conversation with those guys.
To struggle as much as he did when trailing or tied.
However, with this label has also come an unprecedented amount of criticism for the second-year quarterback, and some may argue that it has been deserved, some may argue that it has been undeserved. But there is one thing we can't deny. If we're going to label Brock Purdy a game manager, then he has arguably been the best. And now it's time. No more talking. Let's roll the tape. While Brock Purdy has been labeled as a game manager due to a strong supporting cast highlighted by the likes of Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, and George Kittle, I think his performance in some of the most clutch moments of these past two games opens up a deeper conversation regarding this claim. In the go-ahead drive against Green Bay, Purdy went 6 of 7 for 45 yards. From the 6-minute and 58-second mark in the third quarter versus Detroit, Brock Purdy went 9 of 10 for 127 yards and a touchdown. Now, I say all of this to say that while I think that Brock Purdy has had a below-par playoff campaign based on his regular season performance, he's been lights out in the biggest moments. But just how is he doing it? First play here, Kyle Shanahan gets into his bread and butter concept. This can often be referred to as dagger. The 49ers come out in a 2x2 out of 12 personnel, and we can see a cover 3 shell from the Lions. The goal of the 49ers on this play is to influence that middle of the field safety who is closing off the field and get their playmaker Deebo involved as the middle opens up. Brock Purdy's going to sell the play action, identify his read. Boom. Now the offense is cooking with grease. Now, this next play, I'll be the first one to say it. Anytime you find your team playing in the final game of the season, some type of luck has to be involved. What more can you say on a play like this other than the fact that the football gods were on the 49ers side? But what I will credit Purdy for is identifying the disguised Tampa look and realizing that Ayuk is one-on-one with Vildor as the corner split half and half of the football field. So I like the decision based on the matchup, but it's really a lucky outcome. Good play. How good of a play? We could debate that later. Now, this is a play that I really like. Down in the red zone, the Lions come out in a cover 5 look. Although this is a Brock Purdy breakdown, if you don't appreciate the route running here by Brandon Ayuk, you don't love football. There are so many details which make this route beautiful, but let's not digress. Brock Purdy showcases both an aggressive level of decision making and the velocity to back this decision as he finds Ayuk in the end zone. I want you to pay attention to how he steps up and resets his feet within the pocket as he makes this throw. And also, as a side note, these are the types of subtle advantages that all these 49er playmakers can create. Look at how Deebo Samuel draws attention from both of the safeties up top in cover 5, and it looks like such a small, irrelevant detail. But look at the pass. These are the types of differences that a split second can make in the game of football. If our safety hauls tail to get inside of Brandon Ayuk, now you're looking at a different throw and or a different read. But it's a great play again, and it's showcasing that clutch gene. Now all of my returning viewers know the drill with these types of plays. If this doesn't make you subscribe, I really don't think you ever will. Now, I was kind of confused when watching some of this film because I thought Lamar Jackson was eliminated from the playoffs. But it turns out he's just somehow on the 49ers now. The ability to have the pocket presence, put your head down, and pick up this 21-yard gain after deciding you don't like the read is really good football. This is where the conversation gets awkward for me because with the term game manager, yes, the amount of weapons on this team is utterly ridiculous, but it's plays like this paired with some of these throws that are truly all Brock Purdy. Let's seriously take a second to look at the play extension here by Brock Purdy. He not only somehow breaks out of this sack by Melifonwu, but he's finding Kyle Juszczyk on the sideline as Juszczyk makes the toe tap. We even go to the next play, and he's finding a dime to George Kittle as he separates from man coverage. And I did a film breakdown on this team earlier in the season, where I think I kind of said it all. And I think this may be the common ground for a good percentage of viewers. Whichever side of the fence that you lay on as to whether or not Brock Purdy is elite, I'll be willing to hear you out. I think that part of the conversation is pretty ongoing. There's a lot of variables to it. But there's one thing that I'll firmly debate and that I cannot deny. The version of Brock Purdy that we saw throughout the majority of this regular season, and that same guy who stepped up particularly in the fourth quarters of these last 2 playoff games, has played elite football, whether you like him or not. So this is a very ongoing conversation. There are a lot of variables to it. But as we approach closer to Sunday, March 11th, this game manager has a chance to cement his name forever.